This is Poshe, and welcome to my channel where I talk about everything parenting and education that can help you in the 21st century. So, I've started getting requests again, people asking me about school ownership, starting up a school in Nigeria, and they watch my videos. So, the best thing to do is to book a consultation or take one of my online courses. That's the best thing to do. Now, having said that, how are you doing? So let's talk about it. There's so many things that we can talk about when we're talking about the school business. It's not something that we can do in one video. Anybody that says they want to do it in one video is impossible. It's been 10 years and there are still things that people learn, there are changes, there are just so many things. Now, so today we'll focus on a few things like structure and teachers, because these are some of the things that give people problems. And people will tell you that I had to take off my hat and all those sort of things, just hearing a lot of noise. So it turns out that we have new furniture. You see, we have new furniture, chairs, and they're assembling them right now. As a result, there's a lot of noise, and I'm thinking, why is it now that I want to make a video that I'm getting all this noise? So I might still move from here because they're assembling some tables and some chairs for the kids. So I saw this new set of furniture, and you can elevate them and bring them down because some of the children are taller, and it was quite nice. So they're not boxed up into one kind of size, and that's part of the problem that we have when it comes to this running a school by yourself kind of thing, one man band, or having whatever it is. Even if it's two, it's still a lot of work. Well, I can't even really say it's one man band because I do have a lot of support. But having said that, it's a lot of work. That's my laptop, by the way. It's a lot of work. Today we want to talk about teacher quality, and maybe we'll be able to touch on structures. Like I was saying at the beginning, when that noise started, there's just so much to touch on. There's a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of ugly, and sometimes you have to weigh it down. If you want me to do a video about being an educational consultant or a school owner, which one works out better, which one makes more sense, then I can actually do that. I'm really thinking, because sometimes I always think to myself, why didn't I just become an educational consultant? Because I pretty much do that in that capacity, and I have the less stress of running a school. Because when you're running a school, you're pretty much in everywhere, and a lot of people say, oh, they will look at the very big schools that are already been there, they've been established for many years, 20 years, 30 years, that have all the structures in place. And that's a big lie, because they don't even have all the structures in place, because when you have issues, you now see that the policies, there are gaps here, there are gaps here, there are gaps here. For those of us that have children in big schools, that have friends and know people and just know things behind the scenes, we see that there's no perfect school. But this is for the benefit of the small to medium sized schools, where you know that the hustle is still very real. The hustle is real, as they say in Lagos, Nigeria. You find that when you start a school, you're not going to have immediately all the structures, everything. You might know what to do, except if you are working on a big loan or you have this access to incredible amount of money. You're not going to have everything overnight. I can remember at some point at school, we didn't have we painted only the front. We didn't paint the sides at some points. It wasn't visible, but it was only the front that was painted. At some point, I didn't even have an office. It was still under construction. We just had some classrooms. Sometimes when you're waiting for perfection, you're not going to get any momentum. Oh, when you're waiting for perfection, rapper, you're not going to get any momentum. Jokes apart, truly, they call it analysis paralysis. You might not be able to get the traction that you need, so you just need to start. As long as safety and child-centeredness are at the core. Now, I can remember when we started here at La Porte School, I had a teacher join, and then I had another second teacher join, and we didn't have enough money to have so many teachers, and our population was very small, so they were working longer hours, and I still thank those women. Ultimately, they became greedy. Well, one left and one got sacked because she was trying to defraud the school. One left and then went to the parents and said they should beg to come back. But I've already said, once you go out the door anyhow, yama, that's it. So this video a bit random. Don't worry, you're gonna get the gist of the story. So she left because she wanted 200,000, and that time we didn't even have 10 children in the school. 200,000 at that point was like 2.4 million. Where am I going to get that kind of money? So she left. and she went to another school that is going to pay her the 200,000. Turns out they didn't even pay her once, so she had to resign from that one. They started doing lessons, extra lessons with the children in the school here, and then one of them told me, spoke to the parent. That one said, "Oh, please take her back. I'm just trying to help her. She's broke. She's busted. She's disgusted. That kind of thing." And then the other one, it was 419er extraordinaire, and she got caught, so we had to dismiss her after 7 years of service. Can you imagine that she should be enjoying herself today? People that have come, have not hustled with us like that, they are enjoying the Poshe now, but they are not. Anyway, that story is still very important to what I'm saying, because when you start a school, it will be good for you to have committed people, because sometimes they might have to work overtime. You won't always have all the, so this, let me just say, this video is for people that don't have too much cash when they start a school. Let me say they don't have all the money in the world. And even if you do, someone like me, it wasn't too bad, but then we had an armed robbery. We were everything was stolen away from the school. We had to start all over again after just we opened 7th of February, and by 1st of April we were robbed. Everything taken away, laptops and everything, so we had to start buying things again. So imagine that. And we didn't take a loan, so the hustle was beyond real. Now, at that point, it was very important that we had teachers that could work overtime. They got compensated ultimately. They got compensated. They can't go and tell any lie anyway, because after a while we're paying by sentiment, we're not paying by value. And you find that a lot of teachers, after a few years, when they feel they know where their onions, they stop to develop themselves, they stop attending seminars, they stop growing, and then they become less attractive. And it's kind of like that de-skilling, and not necessarily de-skilling, but the fact that other new things have come out. They're struggling with technology. Technology was really the main challenge, because we started to automate our systems, and they were struggling. I remember one saying, "Oh, I would rather teach an imbecile than do this." And I was thinking, who is an imbecile anyway, in this 21st century that we live in? So it's really tough, but it is rewarding. So you find people saying that, oh, when you start a school, oh, schools don't go. And even agreement letter at that point in time, it was very sketchy. See, clarity comes in the doing. When you do, then the clarity begins to come. As much as you can, put the structures in place. Now that you know. See, when I came to Nigeria to start the school, I didn't have a lot of information, but I had information. I had bought a lot of my stuff, and based on the experience I had from other schools in the UK, I did what I could do. But now, if you're going to start a school, do what I did in terms of not leaving my banking job, buying the stuff that you need, putting money aside, because you're going to need a heck of a lot of money. But then not only do that, start putting your paperwork together. So your agreements, your employment agreements. So there's so many agreements that you would need in a school. Your policies. What are your values? Your mission statements. Your core values for your school. Your vision for your school. All those things, you start drafting them. What you are going to, what you want your organizational touch to look like. Start getting all those things, and those things are mighty challenging to do and time consuming. So you can get a consultant to do that. I can help you with that, and then you can begin to even draft some of them by yourself. Some of them you can find templates online. See, when I started, I didn't have all these things online. We didn't have a lot of things online, and even now it's still sketchy when it comes to school business. It's still quite sketchy. Wearing my wristwatch. Let me put it on so that you can see. Can you see? Can you see? And can you smell my perfume too? But you can. The information is still sketchy online. That's what I wanted to say. The information is still sketchy now. You don't really get a lot of information. I don't know why people don't like sharing information about school business. Whilst you may want to monetize the information, there's some things that we should be able to check online and see readily. Even as a 2022, when I'm doing this video now, before I started doing the video, I was thinking, these women that wrote me about starting the school, I think they get more information online. When I went to check it, I saw a few, but there were still my videos about school business that were really there. So I said, okay, why don't I create more videos about the school business and help more people? Because we need more schools, but we don't need just any school. We need good schools, and it's not really about the population of the school. It's about the quality of the school and the children that you are able to raise, the kind of leaders, the kind of citizens that you're going to raise. Because you have, right now we're going through the crisis of the Christian scandal when they went to Dubai, and there was 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds whatever the age may be, were sleeping together and having sex foolhardy and didn't care. Now all over social media, people are saying, is the parent, is it the school, is it who knows what? Do you know what? Between the time I did the video on the playground and the time I came home to do this video, I've had to do 1,000,001 things, and I keep wondering how I actually do any of these videos. So I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to this YouTube channel. It's mad, oh. They say it's so mad. I've just been all over the place. It doesn't even feel like the same day. I thought I had an easy day, but I've had to do like 1,000,001 things, and I've had challenges, issues, all sorts of things. I just pray I haven't even lost my trail of thought. So we're talking about setting up a school, and I know people have been asking. So yeah, so let's dig into it and continue to talk about setting up a school. So yeah, you know, I always say there's only crazy people that set up schools in Nigeria, because Nigeria is just a den, it's just a jungle. The way people do things here is just completely different. So you have to be very rugged and, you know, really. Yeah, I was talking about structure. I was talking about the structure of the school, all the paperwork, all the things that you ought to have. So start building that, or get a consultant to help you with that if you have the funds. If you don't have the funds, then you need to do it little by little by yourself, and you get there eventually. So another thing I talked about was the teachers that actually come to the school. Sometimes you can be blessed to have teachers that would stay with you, but generally you find that a lot of teachers in Nigeria are very, very nomadic. They're very nomadic, but oftentimes many schools, when they start up, they don't do all this letter of engagement, pension. They don't even have the funds. They don't even have the know-how, you know, all those sort of things. It's important to have those things, but oftentimes, even when they have the letter of engagement, to stick by those rules, it's so difficult, because you might say, okay, work from 9 to 3, and then maybe you started with a creche or a daycare, and then you find people there till 6:30. How are you going to manage? You don't have enough money to hire somebody else. You're working in the business, you're working for the business. It's already challenging enough as it is, and then people are saying, oh yeah, we're working your teachers. And there comes a time when you have to normalize. You just have to normalize. For me, I had people that stayed, that worked overtime, and as we were building, we were able to compensate them. I was able to compensate them from my own personal funds as well, outside of the school money, give what I could in terms of food stuff, this, that, and the other, everything that I could. Though the story is different today, and I always look at the new teachers and just say, these ones I enjoy, you know, because they just step right in, they get all their letters, they get everything that they want, they even get laptops. They get laptops. I forgot to show you my fine hair. You see, if I wasn't in the school, I'll probably be one of those, I don't know, maybe I'll be a media or a model or one of those things. It shall be something glam, because I like glam. I like glam, and I make no apologies for it, because people expect educators to be drab and like rubbish, and they don't even inspire the children these days anyway. They don't. So I know that if I was on education, I'll probably be in media. Maybe I'll be a newscaster, or I don't know, I'll just be doing something that will involve a lot of and right now I love makeup. I don't wear heavy makeup like that, but I just have every color palette, foundation, and all sort of things. What has that got to do with starting a school? You should have your own other interests, because sometimes you just really need to, you know, distress and just do other things. And sometimes for me, it's actually wearing makeup. So I just go and powder my face, put some foundation, bronzer, and all sort of things, and I feel good. And I use it to distress as well. I like wearing makeup. I love it a lot. Now, teacher quality in Nigeria is completely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Very few. Most of them that we even do it well will be private, but the ones that we have at a national, there's a lot of cheating, there's a lot of fraud, and I've actually witnessed it myself. So it's actually very, very bad out there. So teacher quality is very, very poor. And I used to say, oh, I wanted teachers that had a PGDE, postgraduate diploma in education, until the day I went to one of the centers and saw how they were cheating there. Then I realized that So these people that are coming and sending their CVs or strolling to the school with PGDE, many of them, this is what they have been doing. So I just pretty much had to, you know, rethink the way things were being done. So you have to like pretty much train teachers again when they come to your school. And there's a way to do it, because if you have a school where people are, and people will tell you that, oh, you don't have systems, or you don't have a good structure, or you're not doing a good job, other people are leaving your school. That's not true, because I hang around a lot with people that work in many of the big schools. I belong to many groups. They still leave because it is a culture in Nigeria. They've told a lot of people that if they don't have their own businesses, that they're not really making it. Everybody wants to have their own business. So the people who have a school with 3 children for 20 years, but as long as they're saying that this is their own thing, so it's a culture. They don't want to serve for a long period of time, and then they don't even want to grow. A lot of people, personal development and that kind of thing, they don't know it. So when they come, there needs to be a mindset makeover, especially for all of you that are coming from the Oyinbo, Obodo Oyinbo kind of thing. I came from London, and I can remember that I always expect people to be on time, to come to work on time, especially the assistants, what they call the nannies. I really expect that if you don't come, so why are you not on time? You couldn't even call, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're going to be fired if you do that again, and they're all like that. What made it work for us was getting them a staff quarters where they stay, and giving them the rule that you have to be up and out at a certain time, and you must be in the school at this time. Because what was happening was that they were just coming at any time that they wanted. They were just doing anything that they wanted. It was becoming embarrassing. I would have to go and face off with parents running up and down. So you need structure. You need to train your teachers as they come, and there are ways, because you can't keep training. Especially when you're a small school, you are going to actually burn out. So orientation is very, very registers, all your paperwork, you have to have a database. We use an electronic system that has been built for us, and it has worked for us over the years. But at some point we were using the regular Excel to do our registers, to do even any kind of contracts that we wanted to do with Word, all those sort of things. Things were not as nice as they are now. I mean, I'm not going to tell you everything that we use, but they're not as nice as they are now. When it comes to us getting doing a spreadsheet for pensions and all those sort of things, getting an accountant. At some point, we didn't have accountant. We were just do whatever we could, and then when we want to file, we go and get somebody that will file for us, and it was all over the place. And anybody that's in that place at this moment, I won't judge you, because Rome was not built in a day. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people will say, oh, they don't have a structure in that. It doesn't mean you're not doing a good job. You're just growing. Where the problem is when you continue doing old things and you are a cake for a long period of time, you're not growing. Every single day you should be growing, implementing systems and doing things right. So after a while, you have to have an accountant. You're doing appraisals, customer service, who is facing up for your school. The person is make or break, who is doing your social media management. I'm very good at social media, but at some point I had to get someone to help and join to do the social media work. And people are like, oh, I love your videos, I love your this and that and that. Someone like me, I love technology as well. This video, I'm probably going to edit it myself. I don't edit all my videos, but this particular one I might edit myself, because I think I like the quality of my new Canon camera. Hey, I was going to do an unboxing, but I just thought, what value is we going to add to this channel? So I just really just forget about it. But really, this is a nice new camera, so you can tell me the feedback. Do you like it, or do you prefer my videos I used to do with my phone? And if you're someone that's YouTube, and you can actually use your phone. So this is a Samsung N20 Note, N20 Plus Note, or whatever it is, and it's amazing. I record in 8K, and the quality is super duper 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 duper. And when it comes to salaries, that's a problem that a lot of people have. They're always slagging off private schools, a lot of private schools. Now, it's not every private school that is guilty of not paying salaries. We definitely have paid salaries. No matter how broke we were, we've always paid salaries. That's never been, it's always been a priority, because I'm a believer that a worker is due their wages. So I've always prioritized salary payment. But then it's not easy to pay salaries, because sometimes parents are not going to pay on time, especially small schools. I can remember when we started, we had this foreigners that came, and they came to the school. They saw that it was nice because it's actually a nice place. It just wasn't what it is today because we were still growing. And I can remember in 2012 they were offering a ridiculous amount of money that we should accept it and have their children. And I was thinking, look, how can you give us kind of money? But we should took it. But it didn't work out in the end because it wasn't even able to, we weren't able to even pay salaries. So at some point you might even, when you start, you might be acting desperate because you want people to come to your school and all those sort of things when you are a small startup. But you have to put your foot down at some point and just say no. You can't continue accepting all kinds of rubbish because it will now be the precedence. You're giving everybody a discount and they keep coming and they keep coming. Another thing was that a lot of people will say when you start a business, it's the family members, your friends that will support you. Up till now, I don't really pray for my friends to come here. Honestly, to the Poshe school, I don't pray for friends to come at all. I find that a lot of them, when they come here, they will start haggling and asking you that, oh, I'm not going to pay for one child, or maybe they bring 2 children, or I want a 50% discount, or I find that all those sort of issues are there. Whereas people that met me online or saw our ad and respect the work that we do, they've visited our website, they've got referrals from parents, or however they found us, they have significantly more respect. You just see that they've paid. They're telling you that, oh, I've made the payment. You're seeing payment notifications. It's formal. There's no what they call see finish that we'd have in Nigeria. All the problems, all those challenges, we don't really see all those sort of things when you're working as a professional. But when you're working with friends, because you used to play 10-10 when you were in school, and you used to, you know, hang around together here and there, they only see so much. They don't appreciate your growth, especially when you've really built capacity and you're doing a lot. They don't see that, or they refuse to see that. They just want to see you as that little girl that used to wear housewear together, or used to play around at one place or the other, and they do not appreciate the work that you are doing. So make sure that you don't let anybody trivialize or make a mockery of what you are doing. Place value on whatever you're doing. Even if you have 5 children in the school, make everything as formal as possible. Make sure that training and development is ongoing all the time. Continue to join groups. Some of them are very useless, incredibly useless. They're always lamenting there, but at least it will give you an insight into what is happening in other places. Collaborate, go for trainings. These days there's so many trainings online, free training, paid training. Don't go for only free training, I beg. When I started, there weren't a lot of training courses around. There weren't a lot of training courses around. I know that, and I went to pretty much every single training then that they went. Even if I knew the topic, I just really loved them so much back then. And I used to go for their training and all their training, anything they did, as long as they just pushed it out, I used to go there and learn and learn and learn. And I was able to, and not having a lot of information then caused me to continue to research. So I was researching Nigerian schools abroad, schools around the world. I was meeting people online here and there. You know, I did not centralize everything to one place. You know, I was just growing and growing, and the reason why I'm able to do so many things and wear many hats was because information wasn't available to me. I think whilst I thought it was a bad thing and I was frustrated in many ways, it actually became a good thing because it caused me to research. It caused me to fall into other sectors and learn from other sectors. It gave me interest in other sectors, and I've been able to monetize so many of my skills because I had to learn so many things. So it worked out nicely for me eventually.
Trying to register at the school, and I couldn't register it. I was Ministry of Education, naturally, thinking that's where I would have to do it. They said no. I didn't know where to go. Ultimately, somebody told me that I had to go to the Ministry of Women Affairs. And I
thought to myself, is it only women are supposed to start school? Anyway, I went there and we started the process. But the process, to start the process meant go and start the school and call us in 2 years. And I'm thinking, is that how it works? So I went to start the school and called them in 2 years, and they came. And then they gave us a list that we should have all these things on the list. Fire extinguisher, this, that, and the other, and all. And then we got all the things. They came to do this inspection and we passed. And then we got our approval.
Then parents will start giving you pressure and say, oh, primary school, primary school, primary school. Don't let them give you too much pressure. Sometimes it's just nice for you to focus. So right now we have a primary school, we have a preschool, playgroup, and blah blah blah. We're not going to do more than that. There's pressure now to start the secondary school. I'm not even going to try it. I'm not going to even touch it with the 10-foot pole, because Nigeria, the teacher quality will frustrate the living daylight out of you. You will not even have, see this, all this makeup, I still have time to wear it. You won't even have time, because they're going to frustrate the living daylight out of you. And you must be ready, because secondary school is a whole can of worms with the type of children that we have these days. People don't want their children to be disciplined. They don't want, you know, all sorts of things are happening. I'm sure you already know that. That's not what this video is about. But be sure that you won't start a secondary school before you start a secondary school, because that one is just something else. So when I started primary school, I started school for 4 years and then come back. In 4 years, COVID-19 struck, and I'm like, hey, okay, we're gonna have to do it after that. So when we went, I think before COVID-19, shortly before COVID-19, we had inspectors come and they said, okay, you need X, Y, and Z, just a number of things, but they were very minor. We had most of our things. It was really good. So the woman said, I think she said we had eight laptops in the library, we should make it, or something, just little trivial things. Somewhere in the playground, she wanted us to divide and cordon off some areas in the playground. Nothing really significant. The first aid box was on like on a table. She told us to hang it. It wasn't anything, as they say, barbara. It wasn't anything too big. And so we've done all that. So you are going to have to get to that point where you face off with the inspectors. I don't believe there's anything to be scared of. It really shouldn't be something to be scared of, because ideally when the inspectors come, what they're supposed to do is to tell you what to do better in your school. It's not supposed to be an attack. It's not supposed to be a scary visit where the monsters come and intrude and check everything that you're doing. That's not what it's supposed to be about. It's just for them to come to your school and tell you the things that you should do better, and you do it better, and then the rest is history.
Whether that happens in that way is something that you will find out when you actually join the club. But for now, I think this video is long enough, so like 17 minutes from what I can see, and I already have around, who knows, 5 minutes in the previous video. So let me
end it here. I hope you got value. Let me know what you learned. Let me know what you need to know more of. I plan to do more of the videos. This one's a bit random because it was, but I had to put the video out because I had already made promises. One, number two, I don't like to procrastinate. I would rather do it than not do it at all. Get the content out there, which I have done. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, which is very important, and hit the notification bell as it goes. So I'll see you later, and God bless you. Bye. Poshe.
like a Hellcat.